you doing, Sister Flo? How you doing, Sister Monica? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you two ladies doing? I see you coming in tonight. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Monica Kim, how you doing? Sister Flo, how you doing? Come on in, my brothers and sisters out there in Facebook land. We're about to get into some good content. We're approaching the weekend, so come on in, come on in. How you doing, Sister Shara? Come on in, come on in. How you doing, brothers? How you doing, sisters out there? I hope that you all had a very good day. I know I have. Like as usual, my brother and sister, I am feeling blessed. I'm excellent with a twist of serenity. Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sisters. Got some good content for you tonight. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this show. I know you are for a fact, and I hope that you'll be able to take something with you from this show. Come on in, come on in. You're not going to be here that long tonight. I'm going to jump on it, because you all know that I can talk a little bit, right? So I'm about to get into it. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. I always look forward to talking to you all almost every day. You are family. How you doing, Sister Lisa? How you doing? Go ahead, brother and sister, get you a bag of popcorn and get you some soda, because we're about to jump into this topic tonight. How you doing, Sister Velma? How you doing? How you doing? We're going to let a few more people come in, and then we're going to jump on this topic tonight. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Guess what? Tomorrow is the weekend, baby. How you doing, Sister Linda? Tomorrow is the weekend. I know some of you all live for the weekend. I live for every day. Lord willing. Yes, yes, yes. We about to jump onto this topic tonight. My brothers and sisters, again, how you all doing tonight? My name is Tony M. Toomer, for those of you that are new tonight. And what I do, I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship of that between a man and a woman from a biblical standpoint. When I say a biblical standpoint, I'm talking about God had a unique relationship with the man Adam. And after he caused a deep slumber to come over Adam, he took the rib out of Adam's side. And then he stepped over. He formed the woman around the rib. He represented the woman back to Adam. And he said, Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I shall call a woman, because she came from man. If you don't believe in that particular type of relationship, my brother and sister, you can do whatever you choose to do. But right here, we talking about, look like some cookies up there. Sister Shara was like, she got some cookies for my brother and sister. Go ahead and get some of those cookies too. Popcorn and soda, ain't nothing wrong. Thank you, sister, for adding that flavor to the show. And brothers and sisters, let's go ahead and jump into it. Tonight's topic is how to get over the end of a relationship while preparing for your future. And you all know that I like to repeat things almost 3 times. And it's the reason why I do that, because I want it to get embedded in your mind, and I want you to be able to think about it. Again, tonight's topic, how to get over the end of a relationship while preparing for your future. My brother and sister, you got a future. Even if your relationship comes to an end, you have a future. How to get over the end of a relationship while preparing for your future. Question, my brothers. Question, my sisters. Have you ever been in love before? Have you, brothers, and you sisters, have you ever been in love before? I know my brothers and I know my sister, I have experienced the thing that's called being in love before. I have experienced that. How you doing, Sister Taylor? If you have been in love before, my brother and sister, there's a strong possibility that you have been hurt and crushed in a relationship. And I can relate to it. I know some of you are probably saying, Tony, you got it all made and stuff. You got little Cinderella there and all that kind of stuff. Y'all got the perfect marriage and stuff. I'm talking about pre-Cinderella. I'm talking about before I met Cinderella, I got crushed. And I'm going to explain it to you, my brothers and sisters. So some of you are going to be able to relate to it. But the question is, have you ever been in love before? And now here's another question. You're going to hear me say this thing throughout the show tonight. This is the thing what you're going to hear me saying. Question, are you taking your relationship for granted? Brothers and sisters, it's very imperative And it's very important that you do not take your relationship for granted. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to even say tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen the next second. So my brothers and sisters, you should not, and I mean you should not take your relationship for granted. Now, I'm going to go over a few terms before we get into it. And while I'm talking about this, you're going to see some of the stuff that I'm talking about by these definitions. There are 4 different definitions that I'm going to give you. Number 1, heartbreak. Heartbreak is defined as suffering from or exhibiting overwhelmed sorrow, grief, or disappointment. The word broken means, and it is defined as making weak or infirm, subdue completely. It means you crushed and sorrowful. Acceptance. What is acceptance? How you doing, mother? Acceptance is willingness to tolerate a difficult or an unpleasant situation. Letting go. This is a key thing. Letting go. What does letting go mean? It means to detach, the removing of attachment. That could be a man or a woman. That's what we're talking about. To anything that makes you suffer or unhappy. That's what letting go. Now, my brother and sister, some of you have experienced heartache. Some of you are broken right now. But we're going to get through that. We're going to get through the heartache and we're going to get through the brokenness. Now, my brother and sister, if you currently, while you're looking at this show, if you're going through a rough relationship, I want you to know that I don't want you, my brothers, and I don't want you, my sister, to feel so low at this point in your life where you want to walk across the highway, even though you got life insurance, you want to walk across the highway and don't look both ways and get hit by a Mack truck. I don't want you to get to the point where you want to get hit by a Mack truck. I don't want you all to get to the point of feeling suicidal. But when you have a problem, if you feel suicidal, my brother and sister, you need to inbox me. If you're feeling suicidal, inbox me. I don't want to come to none of your funeral where you're going to take yourself out. If you feel like you want to kill yourself, some of you brothers, you might want to kill yourself over a woman that's no good. And some of you are brothers. Some of you sisters, you want to kill yourself over a man that's no good. But you ain't going to do that tonight. None of you brothers or none of you sisters are not going to take yourself out on my watch. Not while you looking at this show. You better not, because I'm looking forward to seeing you almost every night. So you better not go out there and kill yourself, because there is another day, my brothers. There is another day, my sister. Now question, here you go again. Are you taking your relationship for granted? Now, as it is written, and keep this in mind, as it is written, we're talking about life, and this life is going by, it's talking about relationship, but you need to understand this. I'm going to make 2 points right now from God's word. As it is written in James 4:14, listen to this. This is a reality, my brothers. This is a reality, my sister, as written in James 4:14. How do you know what your life is going to be like tomorrow? Your life, my brothers, and your life, my sister, is like the morning fog. It is here for a little while, then gone tomorrow. That's what the brother James said in the Lord's book, James 4:14. The question is, what is your life? Your life, thank you, Sister Flo, your life is like the morning fog. And you are, if you get up in the morning, you know fog is here for temporary, then it's gone. That's how your life is, my brother. And that's how your life is. It's here for a little while, then it's gone. So you're going to have to take advantage of every moment that you have in your life. And also this, my brother and sister, for those of you that think that you're going to live through this life and everything going to be easy, you're coming to the wrong place tonight. I'm going to talk about life and relationship. As it is written in Job 14:1. Again, as it is written in Job 14:1. As it is written in Job 14:1. Man who is born a woman is a few days and full of trouble. So my brother and sister, brother Job, he know about trouble. He lost a whole lot of things in a short period of time. None of us can say that we have lost a lot of things in a short period of time. Thank you, Sister Cheryl, for putting that up there. Job said again, who is born a woman is of a few days and full of trouble. So we're going to have trouble. Newsflash, my brother and sister. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news tonight. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. This is reality time. This is a reality check. But if you are in a relationship, but before you get in a relationship, if you're about to get into a relationship, that's a starting point. If you are in a relationship, you had a starting point and you presently in a relationship. But let me tell you this, my brothers. Let me tell you this, my sister. Just like you have a start, your relationship is going to come to an end. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Even my relationship going to come to the end. The only relationship that is not going to come to an end, my brother and sister, is your relationship with the Lord, if you have a relationship with the Lord. But there's a strong possibility, brother, you in a relationship with a woman, it's going to come to an end as you know it. Sister, you're in a relationship with a man. Wake up, smell the coffee, and not only smell the coffee, drink the coffee, because your relationship is going to come to an end. No one don't want to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it. Everything that we can see and touch, my brother and sister, got an end date. It has an end date. Now I'm going to take you on a journey of a relationship, my brothers. We're going to walk this walk, my sister, and I'm going to take you on a journey. And this journey is called relationship. And this is how relationships go. First of all, you have that initial meet. You're going to meet. And like I have told you all a lot of time, most of the time when you meet someone, you don't meet the right person. But given time, that person going to let his or her guards down, and then you going to learn the person. That's where it comes to spending some time together. Now, after you meet someone and after you spend some time together, we're talking about life now. How to get over the end of a relationship while preparing for your future. It's going to come to a point, my brothers and sisters, and it's reality. There's going to be a turning point and your heart is going to be broken. How you doing, Sister Felisa? Your heart is going to be broken. And this is what happened when it's just like a death. When it comes to a relationship, it's just like a death. It's a turning point. It can happen sometimes it can happen all of a sudden like that, and sometimes it's a gradual thing. And it's just like a death. So the next thing is the setup. What is the setup? You are familiar with a setup, right? You're going to have some people that are going to come around you and try to comfort you. Especially you sisters, when you're going through a bad time with a relationship, it's easier for you sisters to have more support than a man. Men, most of the time, don't support other men. Only thing men want to do is say, man, you need to get over her because all these other women, that's how men do it. And some of you sisters, you be saying, how can a man leave one relationship just like that and end up in another relationship? That's how it is for men. That don't mean the man heart is not there for the woman that he lost, whether he lost that woman through a walkout, a breakup, or death. That don't mean that the man didn't care for the woman, but men sometimes have the ability to move on. Sister, you will never understand this, okay? You will never understand this. We operate differently. As I always say, my brother and sister, men are analytical, women are mostly emotional. Now the setup, you all know how the setup is. People come around you and all that kind of stuff. Then the funeral part comes. This is the funeral part of the relationship. You at the funeral and you going through a whole lot of thoughts about what happened to your relationship with that man, sister. Or brother, you going through your thoughts of what happened to that woman. But when you get to the funeral part, you know there's no coming back, right? And that's how a relationship going to happen when it ends. It's going to end, my brother and sister. So I don't want you thinking, and I don't want you being in cartoon land. That's why it's very, very important. The question again is, have you taken your relationship for granted? Now, after the setup and the funeral, you going to what? The cemetery. When you go to the cemetery, what are you going to do? You are going to bury that body. And that's how relationships are, my brother and sister. You're going to have to come to a point where you're going to have to bury that body and you can't get it no more. Like if a man and a woman is in a good relationship and it comes to an end, you might go through several changes in your mind, and you want that person back in your life. But sometimes, my brother and sister, when it comes to the funeral parlor relationship, when you're at the then you're at the cemetery and you're looking at that body go down, you, my brother, and you, my sister, one day you probably gonna see your mate walk out the door. It's a strong possibility. You might see your mate walk out the door and you can't do nothing about it. It didn't just start the day he or she walked out the door. This thing been in process over time. And then you have what is called a repast. What is a repast? The repast, you all know how a repast is. After the funeral, you go eat and stuff like that. But what happened exactly after the repast is reality. Sister, if you're in a relationship with someone, those sisters and everybody that's supportive for you, it's going to come a time where you're going to have to deal with that loss of that relationship. Brother, the same thing for you. You're going to have to deal with the loss of that relationship. Now, only a man and a woman that have been in love will be able to relate to what I'm about to talk about now. I'm going to discuss this tonight. I'm going to discuss this in two parts. The two parts are, first of all, the end of a relationship between a man and a woman. Let me give you all a situation. And this is from my life. I gave you the setup of a funeral. My brother and sister, look, Sister Flo said, R. Kelly, when a woman fed up, amen, sister. My sister, let me tell you this, and my brothers. One time in my life, I got hurt real bad. I got hurt real bad. As you all know, I've been married before. I got hurt real bad. Now, some of those other relationships, I really don't count though. I count the relationship basically when it was a marriage or something like that, okay? Those relationships that I invested time in, okay? There was this one particular relationship. I seen it coming. I seen the relationship coming. Well, not the relationship. I seen the demise of the relationship. That's right, Sister Felicia. Commitment is a very scary word for some people. It is, sister. And what happened was this. The person that I was in a relationship with, that particular person, I had invested a lot in the relationship. I was not the best man in that relationship, I must admit. I was not the best man in that relationship. She was not the best woman in the relationship, but it came to a point where it was time for us to depart. And let me tell you something, my brothers and sisters. That one day, when she was getting ready to walk out that door, I actually seen her walking out the door. And I discovered that I did not have no power over that situation. Sister Flo said, when a woman fed up, you can't do nothing about it. That's right. And also, a woman should make a song when a man fed up. A woman can't do nothing about it. But in this case, when she walked out that door, you let me tell you something, my brothers and sisters, that pain, I can't describe that pain. Only a man and a woman, yeah, the Lenny Williams, yeah, that Lenny Williams, oh. When she walked out that door and I seen her back and the door shut, I changed the locks. My brother and sister, it took a while. And let me tell you this, my brother and sister, when you hurt when it comes to a relationship, if you end with that person, your feeling don't turn off like no water. You know what I mean? Some of you brothers and sisters can relate to this. Your feeling just don't turn off when a person walk away. It hurt. It hurt so bad. Some of my family members tried to talk to me, and I listened. It didn't do nothing. It didn't do nothing at all. They were there for comfort, but I had to walk down that valley by myself. Some of you brothers and sisters can relate to me. Even though if you go to a bad relationship, there's a possibility that you're going to have to walk that valley by yourself, even though you have support and everything. Let me tell you what happened. It affected me in several ways. It affected my mind. Throughout the day, even though I had a job, At my job, I was thinking about that thing off and on. It was hurting. That pain was hurting. When I go to bed at night, that pain was hurting. When I got up to go to the bathroom, that pain was hurting. I felt hungry sometimes, my brothers. I felt hungry sometimes, my sister. I could get a spoon of food. Some of you may have heard it before. I could be so hungry, I can get a fork and put it into the plate and pick up part of the food. I eat like 1 or 2 bites and I will finish. My aunt, she told me this. She said, son, you going to have to eat. And that's how it was. I had to eat. You know what I mean? So this is what I tried. This is what I tried. I tried to start dating other women, right? And that's the worst thing you could do, my brother and sister. When you going through hurt, I'm telling you, don't get into no relationship with nobody else while you are hurting, because you're doing that person a disservice. You cannot invest all yourself into another relationship, because if you hurting, you trying to find some type of comfort. And that's a lot of time when you get into trouble. I went out with several women, but I could not find no comfort. It was this one lady I went out with. We had a good time. We went over to her house. When we went over to her house, she got like disrobed, right? She got disrobed and she got in the bed and she said, Tony, you can come lay down. We ain't got to do nothing. I sat in that chair, my brother and sister, because guess what? You all have heard that song called Your Body Is Here With Me, but Your Mind Is On the Other Side of Time. My mind was somewhere else. So I sat in that chair. I knew if I got in that bed, I knew what that lady wanted to do. I didn't feel up to it. Even though not only that lady, but other ladies I was going out with, my mind was still on this other woman. I was hurting. I was hurting. I hurt. And this is what you're going to have to do, my brother and my sister. I lost weight. It's a whole bunch of stuff. But you see, this is what happened, my brother and sister, when it comes to a relationship, when you lose in a relationship. You, my brother, and you, my sister, you got to do these 3 things. You got to go ahead, feel that pain, and cry. I know, sister, it's easy for you all to cry. You all are cry in public or anything. You ain't got to even be at a funeral. You all are cry. Men, a lot of time, I have said this before, men don't cry. Men cry in the dark. Brothers, if you are hurting, if you have to cry, brothers, cry. You are not no wimp. You are not no punk or nothing like that. If you're hurting, go ahead, feel that pain and cry. Sister Jane said the first stage is denial, not wanting to accept the relationship in. Second, acute grief. Third, bargaining. Fourth, anger. Then learning to cope with the law. Amen, sister. That's right. Which leads to this. Number of the B. B. Accept the laws. Accept the laws. While you're hurting, my brother and sister, you're going to be experiencing different types of emotions. Sister Jan touched on that. You're going to feel anger sometimes. You might feel revenge. You might feel like you want to hurt the person. It might not be physical, but sometimes some people want to hurt physical. You're gonna hurt because you see in your mind, you're thinking, what is he or she doing with someone else? And this, my brother and sister, you're going to understand you ain't got no power over nobody else. You ain't got no power. You can't stop that person from doing what he or she is doing. So you have to accept the laws. When you accept the law at this particular time, my brother and sister, this is why I say don't date nobody at this time. What you need to do before you get into a relationship with someone, do you. What do I mean, do you? Get a relationship closer to God, because only God, through his son Jesus, my brother and sister, could take that sting or hurt out of you. People are there for you. They could talk. They could be there with you, but you walk in that valley alone. And the only one that can really identify by walking the valley of the shadow of death is Jesus himself. That's why, my brother and sister, when it comes to a relationship, I'm telling you now, and you better listen to your brother, because I have touched the stove for you all. If I touch the stove for you, I'm telling you that the stove is hot. You better believe what I'm saying. The stove is hot. You don't have to touch it unless you're a child and you don't believe what I'm talking about. Sister Monica said the broadest stove is a perfect example of what can happen if you don't trust God. Amen, sister. Let me tell you this. A different thing's going to go in your mind, but you don't want to get in no trouble. That's right. You could blow a fuse. You don't want to get in no trouble because you can end up in jail. It's a whole bunch of stuff that can happen while you hurting. So that's why I said do you and get a relationship with God. At this particular time, my brother and sister, don't get into no relationship with another man or woman, because all you'll probably be doing is using that person as a band-aid. The relationship that you normally get in right after a breakup, that is like a bridge over troubled water. A lot of times you're not going to get with that person that you first initially date once you coming off of a breakup. You're looking for comfort, and that's why you might gravitate to the first one or whatever, because you trying to mask that hurt and stuff when you should go ahead, get that good cry in and feel that pain, and you got to accept it. Like Sister Jane said, you got to accept the laws. You got to follow God and get really into God, and God going to take that sting away. Is he going to do it in one day? He might, or he might not. At that particular time, God might really be trying to get your attention. And another thing too, my brother and sister, don't look at all breakups or someone walking out on you as a loss, because I'm telling you this. A lot of times, God is preparing another person for you. I'm a witness, my brother and sister. God is preparing another person for you that's supposed to be in your life. And when God, and this is what happened when it comes to see. One day, my brothers, one day, my sister, you're going to see that you are healed. One day you're going to say, dog, you're going to notice this. You're not going to be thinking about that person as much as you used to. You see, sometimes you're going to be thinking you want to reach for the phone and call them. You might feel like you want to text them. At that time, and I'm telling you, my brother and sister, don't call or don't text. If somebody walk out on you, don't do it. Because he or she decided to walk out on you, don't do it. And I'm telling you, if you do that, my brother and sister, guess what? You're going to feel more rejected. If you go after a person and the relationship is over and that person tell you no, it's going to crush you more. So move on with your life, and one day you're going to find out that you're healed. And you going to embrace life because God got a ram in the bush for you. I'm telling you. And then when that person leave, my brother, so let me tell you what normally happens when someone walk out of your life. God got that ram in the bush, a better substitute, a person that you were supposed to be with. How do you not know, my brother and sister, that God wanted that person to walk out of your life? I'm going to tell you. And like Jan says, season for a reason. Please know the difference. Do not try to hang on. Amen, sister. Some of you brothers and sisters, you try to hang on. Some of you brothers and sisters, you get to the point where you want to compromise. You were at one time, say for example, your mate have gone over with another man or a woman. And you were the first man or the first lady at one time. Some of you brothers and sisters, you get so twisted, whereas you are willing to become a side piece. Some of you brothers, you were the man. That woman went to another man. Then she started calling you about problems she got with that other man. But then she used you as a side piece, and you put yourself in that situation because you think that she's going to come back to you. No, she's not going to hardly come back to you because she's still with the other man. That's where she wanted to go. Some of you sisters, when that man go to be with that other woman, you become the side piece because you think that he's going to come back to you. If you were the first person in that person's life, we ain't talking about the Lord now. We're talking about on a human level. and that man walk out on you, sister, and go with another woman, and he still come to you, and you be the side woman, what kind of mess is that? That go for some of you brothers and sisters. What kind of mess is that? You gonna become the side man or the side woman. That's some crazy stuff. Now, embrace life because the Lord is gonna heal you. And this is the second. Now the question is again. That's right, Jan. And the question again is, are you taking your relationship for granted? My brother and sister, at each second go by with that man or woman, always try to have a pleasant exchange with that person. Always, because you don't know the next second what's going to happen. And this leads to the other part of getting over a relationship while preparing for the future. And this is some hard stuff. My brother and sister, we'll get into this part. Now, some of you brothers, some of you sisters have walked down this road before. If you haven't, and you're in a relationship, and Jesus tear and don't come no time soon, this is going to happen. The end of a relationship when it comes to death of your mate that you love. Some of you brothers and sisters, you have been in a relationship with someone, and your mate died. You was in love with that man or that woman. Your mate died. And this is what happened. You see, it happened. Sometimes you can see it if that mate have an illness or something. And sometimes your mate might say, I'm going to the store or whatever. The next thing you know, somebody call you or the police come to you. And this bad. This is bad what I'm about to say. Some of you brothers and sisters, let me start the show right now. Let me start the show right now. If somebody loved one die, don't be putting that stuff on Facebook. Let their relative put it on Facebook. And some of you brothers and sisters, you know what I'm talking about. A man and a woman die, and his or her family don't put it on Facebook. But you got all these news reporters that work for CNN, Fox, and all that kind of stuff. They always put it on Facebook and social media. You all know these clowns. Some of these men and women, these clowns that don't give the family no time to put the stuff out there. How they don't know that their family's hurting. And you put stuff out there on social media and everybody coming in, everybody don't care for that grieving family. They just knows it. They just knows it. Oh, Sister Key said she didn't know that. Tell me this, Sister Taylor. You was in a relationship with someone and the person is deceased now. Is that what you're saying, sister? But like I'm saying, my brother and sister, don't be putting stuff on social media. If somebody, family member die and you the news reporter, nobody didn't pay you. And you all know what I'm talking about. You see it. You're probably going to see it tonight. You're probably going to see it after this show. Those clients don't have nothing else to do but put stuff out there. Let the family do it. But let me get back to the show. I just had to get that out there. Okay, Sister Taylor said husband. Okay, Sister Taylor say husband. I'm sorry about that, sister. But let me tell you this, my brother and sister. Remember I said earlier in the show, when it comes to relationship, I said I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but this is a news flash. Your relationship, as you know, is going to come to an end. Let me tell you this. If you're in a relationship, my brother and sister, If you're in a relationship, my brother and sister, remember, there's always a birth and there is a death. Okay, there was a life, the beginning of life, and it comes to an end. You see, this is what I realized. I'm married now, okay? I'm married. This is what I realized. Cinderella and our relationship is going to come to an end. And I know it. I hope she knows it. As a matter of fact, she does know it, because her and I, we talked about this topic today. We talked about this topic. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to die before Cinderella, or she going to die before me. Now, I'm not planning on killing her, and I hope she ain't planning on putting nothing in my food either. But I ain't planning on killing her. I don't think she planning on killing me. But one of us going to die before the other if Jesus don't come. No, if Jesus tarry. Another thing is this. If I don't die, she don't die first, one of us going to walk out of the relationship. I'm just giving you different scenarios to show you that it's going to come to an end. One of us is going to walk out of a relationship. If that doesn't happen, Jesus is going to come. If Jesus comes, we both will meet him in the air, or one of us will meet him in the air and one will go in another direction. And if both of us meet the Lord in the air, we're not going to be married anymore. We're going to be like the angels of heaven. And I think I have told you that before. It's in the scripture. For those of you that think that you're going to be married to your husband and wife, how you doing, Sister Mary? You're not going to do it. Let me pull it up what I'm talking about, because I have touched on this before. So some of you brothers and sisters, you think, well, when I'm going to see my husband, I'm going to see my wife, and we're going to be married again. We're going to be husband and wife again. No, you're going to have a better relationship. And let me tell you, this is what the Lord said. Listen to them, my brothers and sisters. Listen to this carefully, okay? Listen, listen, listen. If you are married and your spouse dies, some of you might be thinking, and some of you, this is going to be new to you, okay? Some of you thinking that when we be with the Lord, we're going to be married again. Nope, it's not going to be like that. You're going to have a better relationship. And this is what Jesus said. This is what Jesus said. He said, at the resurrection, this is the Lord talking now. He said, at the resurrection, we'll neither marry nor be given in marriage. You see what Jesus said? You don't get married, or you're not going to be given into marriage. Because you see, when Jesus comes, that is the ultimate marriage. Okay, that's the ultimate marriage. Then this is what Jesus say. They will be like the angels in heaven. You see what I'm saying? You're going to have a higher and deeper relationship with that person that surpassed the husband and wife as we know it today. So if, for example, if Cinderella and I go to heaven, if we meet the Lord together, she and I will not be married no more. Our relationship is going to be changed. We're going to get new glorified bodies and all that kind of stuff. The relationship that Cinderella and I have right now, if we both hold on to the Lord, it's going to be better than our marriage. So that's what I'm telling you, my brother and sister. So you are going to realize that you don't have no power over death. And then B, you will walk through that valley and you are going to go through all types of emotions. Remember that funeral scene that I told you about? It's different steps. You're going to go through the grief. You're going to go through the disbelief. Sometimes you might even get angry at the Lord. You might get angry at the Lord when you lose your spouse or whatever. Because in your mind, you'll be thinking the Lord could have stopped this, which he could have. But he chose not to, and I'm going to touch on that. You're going to go through all types of emotion. C, you need to realize that the person's body, your husband or your wife's body, is going to be here on earth. But his or her soul and spirit is going to leave the body. Remember, my brother and sister, when I talked, I said, we are made out of spirit, soul, and body. Most people of the world, they can't grasp that. We're made in three parts. We got the spirit, the soul, and the body. The day your mate die, or the day you die, your spirit and your soul is going to come out of that body. When your mate look at your body, that is just a shell. That body is dead. It's dead. So when you see that person, the soul and spirit have left out of the body. And then that person's body is going to be buried. So remember what I said, at the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be angels in heaven. Another thing, and Sister Taylor, she could talk to us about that. Yep, because she been through it. She know exactly what I'm talking about. She She have experienced this. Then you're going to go ahead at this point and feel the pain and let those tears flow. Don't hold back. Go ahead and let those tears flow. That's right. Yes, the body is a shell. And then then you got to accept the loss. No matter what happens, the Lord made the final call. So my brothers and sisters, let me tell you this. If your mate died before the Lord comes, yes, the Lord could have stopped it, but he had a reason because he's the life giver. He let it go down. So don't get angry at the Lord, okay? Don't get angry at. And whatever you do, the final part, do not do nothing prematurely. Like I said, don't get into alcohol. Don't get into other relationships. Don't do nothing premature. Don't throw their clothes and stuff away. Some of you people, when you experience grief, you want to throw things away. Don't do it, because you're going to regret it. Don't do it. Don't do nothing rational, okay? And remember Psalm 35, it said, weeping may tarry for the night, but guess what? Joy come in the morning. Again, the question is, are you taking your relationship for granted? I hope, my brothers and sisters, that we had a good talk tonight. And guess what? You know what time it is. I enjoyed it, my brothers. I enjoyed it, my sisters. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. Thank you so much. Now it's Psalm 30, verse 5. Psalm 30, verse 5. Weeping may tarry in the night, but joy come in the morning. I love you, my brothers. I love you, my sisters. You all have a good night.